Hello everybody, Joe White here. Welcome to another edition of From Pillow to Post. By the way, gotta give props to my boys Jeff Edwards and DJ Stames. If you haven't checked out the Rise of Liberty channel, just type in your Google machine Rise of Liberty Podcast, or on the YouTube machine Rise of Liberty Podcast. Please do so. They got a good thing going on there. I also want to give a shout out to my boy AC. Check him out too. I don't know if he's on Spreaker or if it's Cool Down with AC. We have to get with him on that. But before you go check them out, I'd like to thank you for listening to this podcast. Of course, this is From Pillow to Post. I'm Joe White on your internet radio as always. Going to talk some video games, going to talk some movie news, and we're going to talk some wrestling. A lot of good. Whole lot of bad in the wrestling world today, or this week. Some of it really pisses me off, and I tell you what, we're going to save the wrestling for the end, but it's not who you might think. Let me rephrase that. Who I'm going to be bitching out this week is not who you might think, or might be thinking. Let's start with the video games, though. The Federal Trade Commission has announced that they are going to be taking a look into video game loot boxes. What is a video game loot box, you may ask? Well, let's say I'm playing a game of, let's say I'm playing a game of Fortnite or Call of Duty or any other game that comes out today, because they're all filled with them. They offer these things called loot boxes, and what it is you pay $1, $2, $50, $100. Some kids are even grabbing their parents' credit cards and spending upwards of thousands of dollars for a box that is filled with something random. And you may get coins. You may get a power-up for your character that makes you really powerful. You may get something cosmetic. Or you may get nothing at all. What does that sound like to you? Sounds an awful lot like a slot machine, doesn't it? Pay your money, hit the button or pull the lever, bell, 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 777, bell, cherry, bell. You know, yeah, hit the right line, you get what you get something good. So the Federal Trade Commission, under the advisement of a certain senator, I don't know her name, didn't write it down because I did take notes for the show today, made a list of topics. She's following the lead of certain countries like England, Australia, Japan, who have limited and put age restrictions on these loot boxes. Because if little 8-year-old Timmy swipes mommy and daddy's credit card to buy loot boxes, it has been proven that little kids can get addicted. This is no different than a slot machine. It's gambling. Only it's worse. It's underage gambling. Every billboard that you see. I'm sitting here in Arkansas. They have casinos out here. I'm getting ready to enter into Oklahoma. Lots of casinos there. Indian reservations. Casinos. There's a lot of advertisements and billboards out here on the interstates advertising casinos. What does it say right under it? Do you have a gambling problem? Call this number. Are we going to have to start putting the Surgeon General warning on the packs of cigarettes may cause cancer? Are we going to have to start putting Federal Trade Commission warnings saying, hey, these loot boxes could lead to a gambling addiction? If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800 blah, 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 blah. Now, some countries, and this I wholeheartedly agree with, some countries have said, no. No more loot boxes. They're illegal here in this country. Can't do them. Can't offer them. Then you have to wonder if the Federal Trade Commission says, this is gambling, and we need to put restrictions on this, which I full well think that they should if they're not going to make them go away completely. What does that do when it comes to states' rights here in the U.S.? In my home state of Virginia, gambling is illegal. The only gambling that is legal in the state of Virginia is the Virginia Lottery. Powerball, scratch tickets, all that good. Pick 3, pick 4, pick 6, all that good stuff. And that's because the money that you spend on that, or the money that you lose on that, I should say, goes to Virginia schools. The county where you spend your money goes back. Basically, you're giving money to charity. What do you do with these loot boxes in certain states like Virginia? Does Virginia say, okay, you have to put something in your video game that says where you live or whatever, or better yet, because you can lie about that. You can lie about your age. Better yet, here's what needs to happen, folks. They need to put something in these games that tracks your IP address. Well, Joe, what about VPNs and all that mess? Most kids aren't going to sit there. Most 8-year-old Timmy doesn't even know what a VPN is. If you're old enough to know what a VPN is, then you're old enough to realize that you're fucking gambling, okay? Little Timmy gets on there to Fortnite, wants to buy a loot box on the Fortnite game. They need to implement a line of code that traces your IP address to whatever state you're in, so that if Fortnite recognizes, hey, your IP is coming out of Richmond, Virginia, we recognize that you're in Richmond, and where you're at right now, gambling is illegal. No. No loot box for you. No soup for you. I just watched that episode of Seinfeld. It's one of the few episodes of that show that I actually enjoy. It's a fucking funny episode. No soup for you. Come back 1 year. Why do I make the soup Nazi sound Japanese? Anyway. So the Federal Trade Commission. Good news. Federal Trade Commission is going to be cracking down. They're going to be investigating these loot boxes. And I can only imagine that some sort of law or regulation soon to come. Way to go. Our government actually doing something good. Nintendo announced today, or within the last couple of days, I'm recording this on November 29th, by the way. Nintendo announced that the Nintendo Creator Program is gone as of the first of the year. Thank you, Nintendo. Nintendo is doing something special. Something I've never thought I would see a major corporation do. Well, first off, they're backing out of the creation program and they're implementing guidelines to people who want to share their content on YouTube. So everybody could share Nintendo content. Everybody could start doing Nintendo Let's Plays again. Now, what was this creator program? Let me offer you a little bit of background on this. Back in, I believe it was 2014, 2015, so it's been a couple of years, Nintendo decided that they didn't want you to do Let's Plays of Nintendo games on your channel without them getting a cut of that money. It's our content. You're making money off of sharing our video games. So we want some of that money. So they implemented the Nintendo Creator Program. And unless you were a member of this program, you could not upload any footage of a Nintendo game without suffering a copyright strike. Unless you were giving 40% of your ad revenue to Nintendo. Now, here's the reason why I think they're backing out of this program. One is that middle of last year, or this year, whenever it was, I think it was late last year, YouTube decided that unless you have 10,000 subscribers, you're demonetized. Okay? Therefore, if you were a part of this Nintendo Creator Program and you happen to be, like I was, amongst the millions of people who got their ad revenue taken away from them, you're not making any money off of it anyway. Therefore, Nintendo's not making any money off of it. So that's why I think the Creator Program went down the tubes. Number two is that they realized that most of the top content creators didn't want to share that ad revenue with Nintendo. They wanted to keep it all for themselves. Therefore, they weren't streaming Nintendo games anyways. And they refused to. People like Review Tech USA refused to do this. Now, why do I think this is good? One, it's good because people can start getting subscriptions off of this. Hey, this guy's reviewing Nintendo games. We can go ahead and do it. I'm going to go ahead and take a look at them and subscribe to them. So that's good. 2 is that Nintendo is sitting there saying that, now Nintendo, now that the content creator program is going away, they have implemented guidelines if you want to use their content. One of those guidelines being is that you have to provide some form of like review or commentary. Basically, you just can't do a let's play and just play the footage. You have to talk over it. You have to provide commentary, provide a review. Oh my God, what is that? Fair use? Nintendo is admitting that, yeah, you have fair use to use our content as long as you do like a review, as long as you kind of keep it clean, say something, do commentary, whatever the case may be, and I'm down with that. I like that. Finally, a major corporation is abiding by the terms and is willing to abide by the terms within reason of fair use. How about that? Kudos to Nintendo for getting rid of this program. I'm happy that they have. Speaking of Review Tech USA, he did a video a couple weeks ago talking about these gaming PCs that Walmart is doing. For those who don't know, Walmart has come out with their own line of gaming PCs. I believe they're called Overpowered. They have laptops and desktops. And Richard Review Tech USA put the cart before the horse, counted his chickens before they hatched, and just looked at the specs. Went off the specs. If this coming from a guy who preaches when it comes to video games, don't pre-order, wait until what we have to say, wait till it gets reviewed, like this PlayStation Classic, we'll get to that in a minute. So he counted his chickens and he went on Walmart's website, read the specs, did a video where he read the specs over every model, and was like, given the price, this sounds pretty good, doesn't it? But folks, it's Walmart brand, and if you get anything Walmart brand, it's bound to be too good to be true. Guess what? It was. Because their reviews have started hitting YouTube, and Richard Review Tech USA had to come out and admit that he was wrong. Admit that he counted his chickens before he hatched. He had to do another video. And he cited some of these reviews. One of the reviews, several geek websites, computer websites like PC World, places like that, Newegg, whatever the case may be. Maybe not Newegg, but basically they're PC Master Race reviewers. Started reviewing these and taking the cases apart, and the cord management is shit. Some of the power supplies weren't even plugged in. Some of the retention cables, like in a PC, they have a retention cable that clips in. Normally most clips are like that to where they latch closed. They actually click together to where you cannot remove the cable or unplug the cable unless you like delatch it, I guess you should say. Is delatch a word? It is now. Well, one of these guys barely touched the cable and the latch came off or the cable came loose. Another issue is the power supplies themselves are from a company called Great Wall. It's some unknown cheapo company. So yeah, my main thing is, okay, you can buy a new power supply fairly cheap that will support this PC. That's the least of your worries. Cable management is the least of your worries. Whether a retention cable is plugged in or not is the least of your worries. Now, granted, common everyday folks that don't know what these things are not going to look to open up the case and check this shit. They're going to boot it up and it's not going to boot, it's not going to post, or the power supply is going to be so shitty that it fries the fucking thing. My main concern is I'm recording this on this podcast on a it was a $250, no, it wasn't even that much. I want to say it was only $180. HP Stream. It's a cheap-ass laptop, doesn't even have an Ethernet cord port in it. It's perfect for me out on the road if I need to hook it up to the hotspot on my phone and Google something. Or do this. Because I don't have big-ass sound equipment like I do at the house. And I'm not about to bring a gaming desktop on the fucking truck. It would blow the damn thing up. But what worries me is whenever you buy a computer from HP, or Dell, Asus, Acer, Sony, Samsung, what do they have on them? They have a bunch of fucking shovelware that is tied to the operating system, like HP Virus Center and HP Help Center. Shit, HP CoolSense, HP Remedial Repair, shit like this. I mean, I can pull it up right here. Here we go. I will pull up the... If this is still recording, it is. I will pull up, like with this HP, I could go through the list here. HP System Event Utility. McAfee OS, which is still on my system even after I deleted the damn app. There you go. Let's see, what else it's having here? Something called a network cap. Intel graphics shit. That it's normally not there. ELAN service. I don't even know what that is. What is this? I don't even know what that is. So yeah. HP this, HP that is all fucking on this thing. You know, and so it's shit like that that you cannot even delete because it's tied to Windows itself. It's wired into the programmed into the operating system, where if you delete it, it bricks the system. So one has to wonder what kind of shovelware that Walmart is putting in these gaming PCs. That's what I want to see. I want to see it boot up. I want to see what kind of crap it has in it, because I bought an iBuy Power PC 3 years ago, and it came clean. It came with nothing on it. It came with Windows. That's it. No shovelware bullshit. So there's your gaming news for the week. The Walmart PCs, the Nintendo stuff. Oh, PlayStation Classic. Let me get to this pile of junk. I got one pre-ordered. I'm canceling it. In fact, I'm calling my girlfriend right after I record this, and I'm telling her, do not fucking pick that up. Don't waste the money. Go look at the reviews online of this after you listen to this. IGN, GameSpot, IGN gave it a 5 out of 10. Why? Half the games on the damn thing are PAL games, which means they are the European or Japanese version. Why is that an issue? Maybe it's because Japanese TVs run at, I think, at 50 hertz, and we run at 60 hertz here in the U.S., so it's going to be laggy as fuck. The audio is going to be buggy as fuck. The game selection, if it wasn't for the PAL game deal, I would buy it for Final Fantasy VII and for Metal Gear alone, simply because it's a portable system that I could take on the truck with me. But I got the Nintendo Switch, and I would love for them to release the Twin Snakes on the Switch. Please, Nintendo, give us that. At least, if you're not going to do a GameCube Virtual Console, give me my fucking Twin Snakes that you did for GameCube on the damn Switch. Please! Good news is they got Final Fantasy X and X-2 coming out to it next year, which that's my favorite Final Fantasy of all time. But anyway, back to the NES Classic. I'm not wasting my money on this. The interface, people are complaining about the user interface. It's just a blue screen with the menu. It's just a plain menu. So what? I don't need Crash Bandicoot dancing around fucking with things on the screen. Let me pick the game I want to play. There's no CRT filter. So what? I don't use it. On my NES Classic and my Super Nintendo Classic that I have here on the truck, I don't use it. But this PS, just the game selection alone was enough to make me go, eh. I don't care about Resident Evil. I don't care about the fucking, other shitty games. Tekken. I don't care about Tekken. I think I played Tekken 3 as a kid. That was okay. I was more of a Mortal Kombat guy anyway. But the main thing that pisses me off about this is And everybody will say no Crash Bandicoot. There's no Crash Bandicoot on the PlayStation Classic. That's because they just released the damn trilogy that was remastered, the Insane Trilogy, and they want you to buy that. Because they figure if you buy this, if you're buying the PS1 Classic, you probably got a PS4. That's just good commerce and good marketing. Why would we want you to buy the old games when we got the new ones, the remastered ones that just came out? The same thing with Symphony of the Night. They're re-releasing Symphony of the Night along with Rondo of Blood, the Japanese version of Rondo of Blood. Not Dracula X. Rondo of Blood is coming out for the PS4 in December. Why would we put that on the Classic? Anyway, that's it for your gaming news. Movie news, Midnight's Edge. We got to talk about these Midnight Edge people. I love the Midnight's Edge channel. I like Tom Connors. I like all those guys over there. Rob, Robot Shlomo. I think I'm falling in love with Mecha Random 42 to tell you the truth. That beautiful woman. I'm trying to get her to come on the show. I want to interview her. Because I'll tell you what, the more I watch her, the more I'm just glued to the screen. But anyway, Midnight's Edge. I got a bone to pick with y'all. Enough with the Star Trek videos. Does every video that you do have to be about Star Trek? We get it. Star Trek Discovery sucks. You don't like it. You want it to go away. How many videos do we need explaining that to us? I've never watched an episode of Star Trek Discovery because you have to pay for it. I don't want to pay for it. We get it. It's an SJW Politico Fest. I don't want to watch it because I knew it was going to be that way. The same way I watched the pilot of Charmed, the new Charmed series, and I was like, never watching that again. So, please, Midnight's Edge and Midnight's Edge After Dark, can we take a step back from Star Trek for a while? Can we not talk about Star Trek for a while? Because at this point, you're basically a Star Trek news channel, is what you are. You occasionally talk about other shit, but more or less, you are a Star Trek news channel. That's what you are. So, to everybody over at Midnight's Edge, can we back away from the Star Trek? The Child's Play remake has a website. They have a TV teaser trailer. I got to admit, I'm intrigued by this. Everybody's like, oh, they're remaking it. Oh, it's Buddy. Oh, God, they're doing the AI. I like it. And I think it's going to draw the millennials right in. There's rumors out there that there may be more than one evil doll. Because if you look at some of the photos that leaked, there is a Buddy 2 where it is a teddy bear. Have a fucking killer teddy bear. I'm sorry. Nothing fucking would please me more. Nothing would pop my ass more. Now, granted, you're going to look at it and laugh. But what if they do the teddy bear? Can you imagine a killer Teddy Ruxpin running around? Oh my God, that's fucking amazing. Maybe they're going to pull a Five Nights at Freddy's with this. There you go. Five Nights at Freddy's. We're basically getting a Five Nights at Freddy's movie. This is great. Avengers 4 trailer. Everybody asking, when the Avengers 4 trailer is coming? How can they neglect Captain Marvel? Captain Marvel is kind of got the shit position in the MCU. They're coming out in February, I believe. Avengers Infinity War is coming out in May. Everybody wants to see Avengers Infinity War. I really believe, honestly, I truly believe that Captain Marvel should have been released in November. They usually release a Marvel movie in November. They've done it with Doctor Strange. They did it with Thor Ragnarok. To me, Captain Marvel should have been released by now. Or we should have at least gotten another trailer. They need to bump up this release date to Captain Marvel, but they're not. When do I think we'll see our second trailer for Captain Marvel? Super Bowl. Actually, no, excuse me, not the Super Bowl. We'll probably see it around Christmas. We'll see it when Mary Poppins drops. When do I think we'll get our Avengers Infinity War trailer or our Avengers 4 trailer? Super Bowl. That's when we will get our Avengers trailer, is the Super Bowl. No better time to pop it out there than the Super Bowl. So that's Avengers 4. Now let's get into some wrestling news. Oh, God. Raw sucked. For the most part. The stuff with Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose, everybody's saying that's a good story. No, it's not. Don't like it. I'll put it this way. I like it, but I don't think it needs a belt. Is that match at TLC 4 a belt? I think it is. It's for the Intercontinental Championship. Why? Doesn't need it. Here's what I would have done on Monday. I would have had Seth Rollins come out there and do his open challenge, and you know who I would have had answer it instead of Dolph Ziggler? And everybody's sitting there going, they had a good match. You're going to get a good match. It's the same match we've seen 50 fucking times, only he finally pinned him with the Falcon Arrow, Superplex Falcon Arrow combo. Big whoop-de-doo. Here's what I would have done. Open challenge. Seth Rollins coming out. You know who I have answered that challenge? I would have used this time to call up somebody from NXT. I would have called up. Either I would have finally had Lars Sullivan debut, which I believe they're saving that for the Rumble. I guarantee you he's going to come out there at the Rumble, and or it's going to be decided by the Rumble, by the time the Rumble gets here, or it'll be saved for the night after the Rumble, one of the nights after the Rumble. But I would have had EC3 come out for this open challenge. Top 1%, baby. I would have had him come out there, cut a little promo about I'm in the 1%, I'm the elite, I'm the only one worthy enough to answer this open challenge, so let's go. And when I get my hands on that Intercontinental title, I'm going to restore it to the 1% status where it should be. Something like to that effect. So they have EC3 come in. He's the heel. I would have never done that promo with Dean Ambrose with the doctors and shit like getting inoculations because the promos make no sense. Oh, I gotta get a shot. I gotta make sure I get all my shots before I see the city of Houston next week, which... If you've ever been to Houston, yeah, you want to make sure you get all your shots before you go there. Oof. Never would have done that, though, on Raw. What I would have done is I would have EC3 come out, do a hell of a match. Hell of a match. I would have given them 45 fucking minutes on Raw. Hell, give them an hour. It's your Raw main event. I would have announced the open challenge early. I would have said, open challenge. Who wants to face me in the main event tonight? I would have had Seth Rollins come out, start the show. Who wants to face me in the main event tonight? Not this bullshit with Lashley and fucking... pointing at his ass. And granted, he didn't do that. But come on. Lashley, Corbin, and fucking whatever, whoever else is with him, the McIntyre. What a push he's had. I've already forgotten about him. Whatever happened to him just annihilating, running over the main roster? But I would never have started them. You have Rollins come out there. You know what? I've been booked in the main event tonight. Open challenge for my Intercontinental title. So who back there won Some of the Architect? You know, I got Seth Rollins at TLC and I'm going to whoop his ass for what he did to me, and I'm going to whoop his ass for what he said about my best friend. Regardless of whether this title is on the line or not, it's still a match. It's going to happen. So who wants to come and try to soften me up for TLC? Who wants to come and soften me up for Dean Ambrose? Who wants to come out here and take my Intercontinental title? Who wants to come out here and try to help me burn it down in the main event tonight? Oh, shit. Who is this going to be? And instead of Dolph fucking Ziggler, top 1%, EC3. And EC3 comes out. Says, you know what? I'm in the top 1% now of Raw. I'm the top 1% of this brand. Can't nobody reach the same status as me. All you are beneath me. Top 1%. I'll see you in the main event tonight. Holy shit. An NXT guy debuts and he's in the main event. We gotta call up our fucking friends. We got to get our fucking people on social media. Get to social media. Let all your friends know that it's going to be EC3 versus Seth Rollins Intercontinental Championship later on tonight. Who is EC3? We'll let you know right now. Here's a look. Roll to a video package letting people know who this motherfucker is. Later in the night, you come out, you have the match. And it's a barn burner. They literally burn it down. Then all of a sudden, you bump the ref. Because I know what you're thinking. Oh my God, it's an NXT star debuting them. That means WWE. They would bury him. They'd have him lose to Seth Rollins right off the bat. And you know what? You're probably right. But if it were me, you bump the ref. All of a sudden, from out of the crowd, Ambrose comes out. Starts looking at fucking Rollins, distracting Rollins. The ref gets up. What are you doing here, man? What are you doing here? He kicks fucking EC3, or he kicks Ambrose out of the building. Rollins is still fixated on fucking Ambrose. About that time now, the ref is real coherent, whatever the case may be. Don't even need to bump the ref for this, really. Get him out of here. Get him out. He's in my match. It's my title. I got you on TLC. I'll see you at TLC. What are you doing out here? EC3 comes from behind, rolls him up, grabs tights. 1, 2, 3. New Intercontinental Champion. EC3 is a made man. He's a heel. Hell, I wouldn't even roll up the tights. Beat his ass clean. He just got, oh, what an upset. He just got a win over Seth Rollins. And then you have, that's what Corey Graves says. Michael Cole chimes in with, yeah, but it was at the hands of Seth or Dean Ambrose for coming out here and trying to get in Seth Rollins' head, trying to distract him. Oh, Cole, mistraction. He shouldn't have taken his eye off the ball. He got rolled up fair and square. And Renee Young stays fucking silent because she's getting ready to turn heel. I don't get that shit with her. But anyway. You've brought a guy up from NXT. You've given him an upset. You've given him a title his very first night. So that tells you right there this guy's important. The Rollins-Ambrose feud continues. And it doesn't need the belt. It doesn't need the belt. So you've created... And then EC3 can go off and do whatever else on his own. You still got the Rollins-Ambrose feud going on. You've made a new star. But no, we get Dolph Ziggler. And we just get graphics all night long going open challenge. The Drake Maverick thing. Everybody keeps bitching about the PP segment. He took his robe and he peed on it and put it in the toilet. That's so juvenile. There's Vince in his bathroom humor. Goddamn, pal. Wasn't it not that long ago that the same wrestling pundits, and that's who I have a problem with, is critics like a Meltzer and the people at Wrestling Inc. and everybody else these pundits who sat there, they're not even journalists, they're not critics, they're pundits, who sat there going, managing is dead, the only good manager is Paul Heyman. I don't get this. We finally have a manager doing something, kind of, helping out. This reminds me of some shit Bobby Heenan would have done back in the day. It really does. And we finally get somebody doing something edgy. Oh my God, these little kids are sitting there going, Mommy, he peed on his robe. I liked it. Do I like the fact that they had him piss his pants at the big show? Well, let me ask you this. If you're 5 foot fucking nothing and a giant wraps his hands around your fucking throat, you'd piss yourself too. Probably shit yourself. It makes sense. It's funny. It's good storytelling in my opinion. It kind of gets AOP over because they got to defend their manager. They finally do something that people have been asking for and highlight managers a little bit. And when they do it, oh, we bitch about it. So shut the fuck up. Not everything on this show was bad. Most of it sucked, though. Most of it was just fucking horrible. The entire pacing of the show in general for 3 hours was fucking nuts. The worst thing on the show, to me, was when they announced that Bayley and Sasha are going to do the open forum. Because as soon as they announced that, I'm like, all right, what plants do they use to ask the questions? It was manufactured. You knew it was going to be manufactured. Horrible. Horrible. But Raw just sucked, man. Overall, it did suck. And it's probably the worst Raw as far as just pacing goes that I've seen in years. If not all time. People talking about how good SmackDown was, and SmackDown was great. I love this stuff. Well, Becky Lynch is fucking the man. I'm sorry. They gave her a new Titantron this week. It's a lot better than Steampunk Becky that we have been getting. Steampunk Becky is gone. She needs new ring gear. She needs new music. She's got a new Tron. That's the black and white with her holding up the title and hey, it's the man, all this good stuff. Love it. Love it. But here's how I see this going. We're not getting Becky and Ronda, folks, anytime soon. I think Asuka. I think Becky wins the title. I think Charlotte goes on to win or retains the title. I think Charlotte goes on to win the Rumble. And she's going to sit there and look at Becky and go, you know what, Becky? Everybody seems to think Becky's going to lose the title and win the Rumble. I would like that to happen only under two conditions. She starts off on number 1 and she breaks the record for longest time in the Rumble. She breaks the Rey Mysterio record. But I think that Charlotte is going to win the Rumble. She's going to come out on Raw and challenge Ronda at WrestleMania. That gives her an excuse to look at Becky and go, see, Becky, I get her before you do. Woo, I'm going to tear her up. There's not going to be anything left of her. So you might as well just not even look forward to fighting her. She's not going to be at her best by the time I'm done with her. All that jazz. And then Becky's going to go on to fight Asuka at WrestleMania. That's the way I see that going down. Everybody complains. Everybody talking about how good SmackDown is compared to Raw. Look at what you're comparing it to, folks. It's apples and oranges. Remember a year ago when everybody wanted to fire Road Dogg for how bad SmackDown was? Road Dogg is still in the same spot as far as I know. He's still the lead writer on SmackDown. So what changed? Oh, Vince McMahon is rumored to be spending less and less time with SmackDown. And everybody's sitting there going, oh my God, wait till October when they go on Fox. McMahon's going to have his hands all in it. That may be true until 2020. Because in 2020, when that XFL starts up, Vince is getting up there in age, folks. He's not going to be able to do like he did in 2001. He's not going to be able to do what he did 19 years ago, 18 years ago. And split his attention in both places at once. Can't be in two places at once. I have a feeling when he starts that XFL thing up, When the XFL starts, that would be a good time for Vince to retire from the wrestling. And once again, everybody's saying, well, when Triple H takes over, everything's going to be better. Wrong. I said it once. I'll say it again. Triple H is not going to be the one to take over. Think about your line of succession. If Vince retires or retires, he's going to hand the company over to Linda. Well, Linda can't take the company, Joe, because she's in Trump's cabinet. Okay. Then it goes to Stephanie. Shane ain't going to get it. Shane probably don't even want it. It's going to go to Stephanie. Who did Stephanie learn from? Her father. She knows how to do the business because of her father. That's the only way she knows. So we're going to get more of the same shit. If not, it's going to be worse. Because you ain't know who wears the pants in the family between Triple H and Stephanie. Here's a clue. It ain't Triple H. Stephanie's going to be the one running that company. Stephanie's going to be one making the decisions. I guarantee you everything's going to run through Stephanie. Even the shit that Triple H does. Because if you think Stephanie McMahon's just going to let her husband run it all willy-nilly, dilly-dilly, she's going to flex herself, man. So it's only going to get worse before it ever gets better, folks. Get used to it. We're at the pinnacle. This is the highest the ratings will ever get. Is in the low 3s, high 2s. As long as a McMahon is in charge of that company, this is what we'll get. WWE UK. Oh, they're snatching up all the UK talent. Who cares? I don't care. Oh, they signed Walter. I don't even... Who the fuck is a Walter? I watched the guy. You know who he looks like? He looks like Private Joker. Or not Private Joker. Private Pile. From Full Metal Jacket. That's who Walter reminds me of. That's what he looks like. Look, I live in the U.S. I don't give a fuck about what they do in the U.K. I watch the show. I watch the U.K. NXT, and I'll watch the TakeOver because I like it. But for me, it's take it or leave it. Trevor Lee may be WWE bound. Rumor is that they're holding another tryout camp early next month. Early December, I should say. It's going to be December by the time I upload this. So early this month. I'm recording this on November. Well, it might still be November. I'm recording this on the 29th of November. Hope you guys had a good Thanksgiving, by the way. So Trevor Lee is rumored to be part of this training camp gimmick they got going on. It's good. If any, he should have been in NXT 2 years ago, in my opinion. Other talent, ACH is signed, apparently. I keep saying it, but Kane Justice needs to be there too. Maybe get another year or two under his belt and then go, but it's going to happen, guys. Kane Justice is money. As far as women that need to be there, Casey Carlisle needs to get jerked up. Veda Scott needs to get signed up. Faye Jackson. Willow Nightingale. These are all women that need to be signed. AEW. Let's talk about this All Elite Wrestling because you know what a fan I am of these motherfuckers. Rumor is that the son of the owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, how convenient that it's in Florida, is rumored to be the startup money backer for All Elite Wrestling. Apparently trademarks have been filed for Tuesday Night Dynamite. There's a name that just rolls off the fucking tongue and sticks with you. Sounds like something WCW would do. Oh, welcome to Tuesday Night Dynamite. Sounds so fucking stupid. So the rumor is that Cody and the Young Bucks are starting their own promotion. They're bringing Hangman Page with them. And they're trying to, oh my God, Vince is going to gobble up indie talent before they have a chance to even check these guys out. Guess what? That's how competition works. That's how WWE operates. That's how WWE has always operated. We're going to steal the talent, gobble up all the talent, until you finally submit to us and cancel this AEW thing. And then when it's all said and done, you're either going to sign with us when you realize I'm not going to let you start your own shit, because I don't, as much as I say I like competition, pal. I ain't going to let you do it. Goddamn, pal. As my phone goes off. So as much Vince says he likes competition, the more he tries to keep it away. And I guarantee you, here's how it'll play out. This AEW thing will probably run 2 or 3 shows. May even get him a TV deal on WGN. But Vince, sooner or later, is going to buy him out. And Cody and the Young Bucks will either be working for WWE or they'll be working for Ring of Honor again within a 2-year time span. And we'll forget all about this shit. Do I want to see competition? Yes. Do I want to see the Young Bucks as competition to Vince? No. Fuck no. That's about all I have this week, man. I mean, SmackDown is going on Fox next year, and I couldn't, maybe then Raw will get better. There's a rumor that Fox wants Ronda Rousey on the SmackDown show because they want it to be more sport-themed. You know what the last wrestling company to be on Fox was? TNA. Remember that a long time ago, back when before FS1 was a thing, before Fox Sports 1 was a thing? I used to have to pay an extra $15 a month just to get the channel that TNA came on. Because it was all regional sports networks that came a part of a sports package that you had to pay for on DirecTV. Actually, this was Comcast. And remember TNA, when they were on Fox, they used to have the Fox box up at the top of the screen that gave you how much time was in the match. It gave you the competitors, how many falls the match was. If it was for a title, it said it. Bring back the Fox box for SmackDown. There you go. I'm curious. I'm not going to lie. I'm curious to see what they're going to do with it. You know Vince McMahon's going to have his hand in the pie. Who knows? Anyway, folks, I've gone about 48 minutes here, 47 and a half. I want to thank you guys so much for listening, and we will see you down the road.